Game number 1 starting off on the Grand.
All right, so we got Jemek Cleave and Jungle Unplayable, and we're going to see the Kitty Cleave versus the Jungle. So I don't actually know who is favored in this matchup. I feel like it should be the Kitty Cleave, at least if it's like a longer game, but I think it's going to be a lot about shutting down these Feral Druids in Cataclysm, of course. The Feral Druid, when he uses his finishing move, depending on how many combo points he has up to 100% chance to proc a instant cast, which is usually used for a Cyclone. So it's going to be a lot about kind of denying these Cyclones, trying to ground them, trying to purge them, as both teams right now being a little bit passive here in the opener.
Yep. A little bit of a slow start, but it looks like Adieu will move in with Azmo. Homerjay is sitting right there, is going to get knocked out. Scatter comes in, though. Homerjay initiating crowd control. Looks like they're going to be opening up onto the Shaman. Silence comes in. Shyxy at the same time. He's getting peeled up, taking a little bit of damage. An instant Cyclone comes in to slow down the Warrior. But I really am a bit afraid for this Shaman here. It seems like he's going to get out of line of sight and be able to keep himself alive for the time being.
Yeah, and we see Rasels trading out the Barkskin here, and here comes big damage actually from Rasels. He's popping the Berserk as well as the Tiger's Fury. Huge damage potential. His spells are not going to be costing like basically any energy here, so if he can connect onto Homer here, he's going to have a lot of pressure, but not able to do so. He's going to swap over to Blackbetty here instead. It's going to be a full trap secured though from Homerjay on the other side. Rasels with no Barkskin, stuck in a main stun. Shyxy trying to take him out, and this is really good for Blackbetty because he kind of survives that go without having to use anything. Rasels still very, very low here. Can he get anything more? They have a silencing shot there onto Azumu. Can they get anything more? Doesn't look like it. They get a full Cyclone there onto Azumu. Rasels, what is he going to do here? He doesn't have survival instincts. He doesn't have anything really. Just tanking it out in bear with that frenzied regen. Feral Druids in bear form are extremely tanky, but surprising pressure coming out here from Homerjay and his team as they get a Cyclone onto Rasels. They look for the full monkey into full trap there. They get it onto the Warrior. Scatter shot onto the Shaman into a full Hex. This is a beautiful cross CC chain right here, and Rasels is going to, I think, dispel it there, but good pressure coming out here from the jungle.
Yeah, Shyxy taking a little bit of damage put into that throwdown. It's going to be Homerjay, who is the main target. Can he kite? Can he get away? Both Shamans free from crowd control for the time being. Blackbetty has burnt through a lot of mana, though. Now into an instant Cyclone. Going to be crowd control for the time being. Homerjay still trying to avoid some damage, doing the best he can, but Rasels all over him. Steady shots do come in. I think Azmo is going to be under fire as well. Shyxy trying to get some damage rolling onto the enemy healer. Full scatter into a full trap. Is it going to get dispelled? No, I think it got grounded there, so that crowd control is not going to land, and Homerjay is still under fire here.
Yeah, Homerjay could be in a lot of trouble here. What is he going to do? Trying to just tank it out for now, but yeah, I don't know if he's going to be able to tank this Blade Storm damage. Taking a lot of punishment right now. Stuck in the throwdown. He's going to trinket out and disengage back, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think he has the deterrence right now to trade here, and Homerjay might just go down there. Finally, in the nick of time, the Spirit Link connects there from Blackbetty, but they need to get some offensive pressure here, potentially with this next freezing trap. They land it onto Azmo, but I don't know if Homer's going to be able to survive with that. They're not going to be able to build any momentum. They need some Cyclones. Rasels is very low, but Homer even lower. Huge damage connecting, and he will fall to the Jemek Cleave.
Main thing I'm seeing in this matchup is basically Homerjay getting bullied. He's getting disarmed. He's getting thrown down. He's getting intimidating shout. We'll have to see how Homerjay does in this one. I think a lot rides on how he kites and how he lands his crowd control, because that Hunter crowd control is extremely powerful. Nothing is on diminishing return, so you can get the monkey blind into the scatter shot, into the trap, and it's a very long extended crowd control chain that you can put out. That's going to be their path to victory if they can find it.
Yeah, Hunters in Cata, they have so much instant crowd control. It's really something. You got the monkey blind, they got the scatters, the silencing shot, but they're going to open up here onto the Warrior this time. I like this a lot more, going after the Warrior. They get the silencing shot there onto the healer, but no follow-up there onto Azmo. There's the scatter shot, but they're all stacked up here. How is Homer going to land this? They forced the shield wall with just pure pressure right now, with just brute force. There's the monkey trap into the deterrence, and then he can place the trap in deterrence without having to deal with somebody trying to micro CC him. They get a full freezing trap. Do they have a Cyclone out of that? They're getting good momentum here on the side of jungle. Unplayable. Can they take down the Warrior? They get a Cyclone proc there. They do manage to get the Spirit Link right before that Cyclone connects, but this is a fantastic opener here from the jungle Cleave, and I really like that they're going after the Warrior instead.
Yeah, Homerjay sells his trinket. He's got readiness, goes for the silencing shot. They're still just going after the Warrior. He's in trouble. Down to about half health. There's the full scatter. Can they find the trap out of it? Is there any more crowd control? Doesn't look like it. I think Homerjay still under fire, is going to be having to kite away. Blackbetty will top him off, but now Rasels getting low. Cleave is getting absolutely destroyed right now, but there's still decent pressure on Homerjay. They land a full trap on Rasel as he's trying to kite away, but now that they've connected, his health is just going to melt. He's caught into a full stun. Looks like that will be the readiness to disengage and try to get away. Cyclone lands on his trinket, though. A beautiful Cyclone by Rasel, just freezing Homer's health, not allowing Blackbetty to top him off.
Oh, they get the scatter shot. The trap. Can they eat it? They get the full freezing trap. The Warriors in so much trouble. Shyxy trading out the Cyclone there onto Rasel. If he gets another Cyclone proc here and he can follow it up onto the healer, he gets fully feared. Beautifully done there by the Warrior, making sure that they can't continue that chain. There's a monkey blind there as well onto Rasel. Homerjay trying to stay alive here. They're basically isolating the Warrior there in a 3v1, but really, really nice, intimidating shot. He's going to shut it down, and now here comes the Kitty Cleave onto Homerjay. Doesn't have too much defense. He has the deterrence. Might need to pop it, but maybe doesn't want to use it just yet. He's going for a trap there, looks like, and Shyxy's going to be sitting through a Cyclone. They're trying to build up the pressure onto the Warrior. Big Blade Storm coming out. Asmo in a silencing shot. Do they have any follow-up onto that? Big damage onto Homerjay as he is stuck in the throwdown, taking a lot of punishment right now as Rasel is also connecting. There's a full Cyclone, though, onto Asmo. Shyxy trying to start up the chain here. They get a scatter onto Rasel. Can they get the full freezing trap onto Asmo? There's the bash. Homer aims it. Homer lands it. And adios for him, I think, here, if they can connect a little bit of more damage. Shyxy hard casting a Cyclone. He gets interrupted on it. I don't think they have the damage to actually finish the job here, Van.
How is he still alive? I can't believe it. He tanks it out with this sword and board, continuing this pressure now onto Homerjay, but he needs to get that two-hander out eventually. Get the pressure rolling. Looks like he put a little damage here onto Shyxy. A full Cyclone lands once again, but Shyxy's getting absolutely smoked. Warriors just line of sighting the Hunter and destroying this Druid. Doing a really good job now, pushing forward, feeling confident, getting the damage rolling, but Blackbetty into a full bash. Is there anything out? The Warrior's so low. Is he going to go down? We get silencing shot into a maim. He trinkets out, still just barely holding on by a thread. Trying to connect, but the Hex does land. Super unfortunate. And it looks like he will actually get topped off somehow. He's still alive. He actually gets completely topped off for the first time. And now I think Homerjay's in trouble.
Yeah, I think the Kitty Cleave has finally left the station now. Homerjay, what is he going to do? He's got no defensives. They did get the trinket rotated back there onto Asmo as well, so Adieu can play with pure confidence right now. Nice cross kick there onto Blackbetty as well, as Homerjay is trying to drag them further and further away. But meanwhile, the Warriors taking a lot of damage here. Can they find any crowd control into Asmo? Could be enough to potentially force something. Nice cross kick there coming out from Shyxy. He gets a Cyclone proc, throws it over onto Rasel, freeing up Homerjay here. Nice preemptive Spirit Link coming out from Asmo there, thinking he might get scatter trapped in that moment, so if you try to pre-link it, but Homerjay holds on to it. They still have the scatter and the trap, but trinket available. There's the stun. Homerjay cannot land it here onto Asmo. Actually, it looks like they're going to swap there for just a second. They get a full Cyclone onto Asmo, into the monkey blind, into the freezing trap potentially. Can they eat it? They don't get it, and Adieu now in huge trouble here. Rasel is sleeping right now on the job, and meanwhile Asmo sitting through a full trap Hex. Beautiful cross CC chain here, but still Adieu is just surviving with just the Riptide and with the Earth Shield.
Shield wall. He's got shield wall in just 1 second. A lot of cooldowns here are available for the Warrior. Audio just getting completely pushed forward here onto Homerjay. I mean, just barely hanging on by a thread. Beautiful Cyclone there by Shyxy, not allowing Adieu to get a good trade with that shield wall. Scatter trap does land. Stun now onto Homerjay. Once again, this Warrior's just in so much trouble. How many times can he barely hold on? The trap finally fades. Stun now into Asmo. Can Adieu survive? He's still so low, 20% health. Fighting it out, blade storming, just trying to stay on target, trying to really limit what Homerjay is able to do in the match. And once again, he will hold on. That Shaman Mastery just paying dividends here for this team.
Yeah, the Shaman really doing a lot of work here, but the Warrior's still not out of the woods yet. 20% HP. Shyxy in a throwdown, just trying to slow down the damage here. Defensive throwdown, but Homerjay is teeing off here in the back line. Asmo with no mana left. Full monkey blind connects. They charge over to Homerjay to make their final stand. The freezing trap connects onto Asmo. He had no grounding for that one. Adieu super low. Homerjay as well, though. Could fall. Rasel trinketing out here, getting aggressive. Adieu on 1% HP. Intervenes to his healer. Charges back to Homerjay. The Spirit Link connects from Blackbetty. Can they finish this Warrior? Full Cyclone onto Shyxy. I think Adieu is going to survive. Asmo still has a little bit mana left in the tank here to keep him rolling. Cyclone now onto Homerjay. Shyxy with another Cyclone throws it out onto Rasel, and it's going to be about which Feral can land the Cyclone first. Blackbetty still has his trinket, but also dwindling on mana and no real coolness to trade with it. Full Cyclone connect onto Asmo. No trinket. Adieu charging in, trying to get a little bit of distance, trying to get a little bit of pressure. The throwdown coming out onto Homer, slowing down the damage for just another second, but still down to 20% 20% HP. Azmo finally free casting heals in the backline, keeping the warrior, well, I wouldn't say top, but back to 50% at least.
Oh my goodness, how is this warrior still alive? What is going on? It's been such an uncomfortable match so far. Now going for line of sight, just hitting the Feral Druid. Just doing what he can to slow down damage. He's got 10 seconds on shield wall once again. It felt like it was just up. Cooldown's rotating back here for the warrior. Intimidating Shout is available. He's going to have to land a good one. He's trying to eat the trap, and a full Cyclone lands. Homerjay into a stun, though. Can't connect the damage. Intimidating Shout still is available. It's such an important defensive peel for Adieu on that warrior. Gordon Board coming out once again, just chasing down the Hunter, trying to stay on target. Finally gets the opportunity, but it has not been easy for this warrior in this match so far.
Yeah, he's been basically ping-ponging between 10 to 50% HP the whole match. Finally manages to get completely topped off there with the Spirit Link Totem coming in from Azmo. They're making a big offensive push here, but look at Blackbetty. He's got so much mana. He got a big drink in the midst of those things. So Blackbetty's going to have that late game advantage. If they can just continue to keep Homerjay alive, Homerjay still has a lot of cooldowns to work with here defensively, so he shouldn't be in too much trouble. And instead it's going to be Adieu just feeling the pressure. Azmo, honestly, at this point, do they even need to CC Azmo? I think they can just try to slow down Rasels and just let Azmo heal himself at this point, because I think they got it in the bag. Rasel eats the trap. Beautifully done, but they get a full Hex. Oh my goodness, what a clutch Hex coming out there. He's going to force out Rasel's Trinket. He's going to dispel it, and Azmo now completely out of mana. Nothing left in the tank. How is he going to keep this warrior alive? We got no cooldowns left, and Rage Regen gets popped. He's got basically nothing outside of that. He got a defensive fear maybe, but there is a Tremor Totem. If Blackbetty just stays in range for that, he can keep his Feral Druid onto this warrior, and Adieu is feeling the pressure right now. Azmo in a full Cyclone. He intervenes back, potentially for the last time. Die by the sword gets popped in the last second here. Adieu trying to make a big offensive push with no mana left on his healer, with basically no health, charging forward here defiantly against the jungle Cleave. Full scatter shot onto Azmo. They're stacking up here, trying to make sure that they can eat that freezing trap. Shyxy gets silenced on the Cyclone attempt. Full bash connects there onto Azmo. Homer, can he find the trap? There it is. He's gonna get it. No, yes, he is gonna get it. Actually, a little bit delayed there, but he does find it. Full stun. This could be it. Razel's in a full sleep. Shyxy going for the big Cyclone, but somehow he's still alive. The rallying cry gets popped. The shield wall comes back off cooldown, but this is fake HP, and he was about to lose half his HP right there from the rallying cry falling, but it buys him enough time to get a couple of heals from Azmo.
Oh my goodness gracious, what's going on? You saw Shyxy on camera saying a little prayer. Why won't you die? Please go down. And Adieu just refuses. Just hanging on at 20% health for the last 7 minutes in this game. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Still charging forward. The sword and board are up once again. Pushing forward here onto Homerjay. Bladestorm comes in. It's not going to be doing that much damage. And once again, just forced defensive. He falls off the side, though. A little bit unlucky there. He slips. It's happened to the best of us, I'm sure. We'll see Azmo. Can he still connect the heals? And I mean, this is just unbelievable. The thing is, it seems like they have decent uptime here on Homerjay, but they just don't have the damage to follow it through. Once again, Adieu in a stun, but continues to defiantly charge forward. And I just is this guy never going to fall? I mean, how long has Azmo been completely out of mana? What is going on?
Somehow Azmo has gained mana, by the way. Like in the last, I would say minute. He was completely tapped, but now he's he has a little bit. He has 1 or 2 heals left in the tank there, and he's gonna go ahead and send a big Nature Swiftness there right before he gets crowd control. He's in a Hex, half Hex. Rasel not able to get this one as he is cross CC. The cross CC from the jungle has been very impressive so far this game, but Adieu's just been sitting, tanking it out with the one-hander on. Finally swaps over to the two-hander, looking for some pressure onto Shyxy, getting a little bit mix up here onto the jungle side, and Blackbetty was sitting down for yet another big drink there in the midst of that, and now Adieu back again to 50% HP, not feeling too confident. Azmo dropping the Spirit Link Totem, beautifully done there. He still has the Mana Tide as well. It's not that potent in Cata, like Mana Tide and Innervates are not going to give you that much, compared to what we're used to, but it still obviously helps a little bit, and Azmo is going to need every little bit of mana that he can get. But the problem when you drop that Mana Tide is that you lose your Healing Stream Totem, which I think when he's been like this has been doing a lot of heavy lifting for him. But Adieu still very, very low under that bridge in a full Cyclone. Actually, can they set something up out of that. Looks like they're going to go after Rasel here a little bit as well. They put Rasel to sleep there with the hibernate, but I think he got dispelled there. Beautifully done by Azmo. He drops the Manatide Totem there in the back line, but now Adieu with no healing stream healing him. Azmo gets caught in a full CC chain. Adieu charges back in, looking for the disarm, but look at Homerjay. He deters the disarm, goes for a silencing shot on the warrior there, potentially to shut down the fear. He's in kill shot range. Can they do it? The jungle is looking hungry right now. Can they find that final killing blow? Azmo still just keeping him alive. How is he doing it? The enraged regen is keeping Adieu back in the game. They got a full pound stun onto Adieu. Big damage connecting here from Homer as he gets enough distance to start firing off the arrows, but it's just not doing anything. Azmo's just standing on top of his warrior the entire game, somehow keeping him going.
I can't believe it. And this is actually what I was talking about with this map. If Adieu actually does go down here, but Blackbetty being able to just play up top, just basically immune to crowd control, isn't going to be caught in double fears. It's not going to be easy for Rasel to land cyclones. And I think this map pick and the way Jungle Unplayable is playing this map is a huge part of why they're able to go for so long. And Homerjay just really hasn't been in trouble. Blackbetty just faces no threats playing in this top position.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely on something there, because Blackbetty has also been able to just drink. Like, look again, he's going to sit down and just drink.
Thirsty.
And I mean, he's healing a lot of damage. I mean, you can see, like, the crazy thing to me is when you look at details right now, Adieu is top damage, but it doesn't feel like he's been, kind of able to dish out a lot of damage. He's just been sitting with one-hander shield on, but he's still been able to keep up good pressure on the enemy team, and that's why Blackbetty just continuously has to drink. Can they set something up here on the side of Jungle Unplayable, though? Doesn't look like the warrior takes any damage. After that first game, I was like, yeah, you can't really kill the Feral. He takes no damn, but I don't know. This warrior is still topping damage, but also just not dying. So I don't know what they can do here. Maybe go after the healer at some point, but right now Homerjay in a lot of trouble. Big bites connects onto Adieu as he tops himself off for a second there with the rallying cry, but Azmo has a lot of work to do here. No Spirit Link. This could be it. This could be the kill on to the warrior to get a nice monkey blind cyclone onto Rasel. There's the cross CC chain. He trinkets out the nature swiftness coming out there for Azmo, and Adieu is going to recover somewhat, but Azmo again, 0 mana left in the tank. Spirit Link Totem still 5 seconds away. He's probably going to have to use it right away. They're actually swapping to Azmo. I like this a lot. He seems to be the only one taking damage. Azmo has the Spirit Link, but where is his team? He needs to get there to drop it. He might die before then. Shyxy's looking for the big bite. The Spirit Link Totem does get dropped, and that is going to at least stabilize him for just a split second. And Azmo, he doesn't have any mana to heal himself right now. He has Earth Shield on himself as well, which I do think is a bit of a mistake here. He finally switches to the Mana Shield, or the Water Shield, and that is going to give him a little bit of mana anytime he gets attacked at least, but still a lot of damage here onto Homer. Now they're leaving the warrior completely free, and Adieu is definitely adding insult to injury here, but he is sitting through a crowd control. They need to take Azmo down right now. He has nothing left. If they can connect here with one stun, it could be lights out. Beautiful trap connects. There's the stun. Where's the damage? Shyxy's there, and Blackbetty is there, but Homer not able to connect, but it doesn't matter. Shyxy able to deliver the final blow.
Yeah, they all seem really durable. I mean, I think the big reason why that map felt so difficult for the Warrior Feral Druid to actually take them down is they just couldn't get any crowd control on the Shaman. So I think on the smaller map, it's going to be a lot easier for Rasel to potentially land Cyclones, maybe Adieu to find the intimidating shouts. But you should have Tremor Totem Floor. We'll have to wait and see what ends up happening. But yeah, it does feel like both the Warrior and the Feral Druid are extremely difficult targets to take down. However, Jungle Unplayable, if Blackbetty is able to get away and drink like we saw in game number 2, that could definitely put them in a good position for the late game.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of a little bit worried about. If they can actually get those late game drinks, but they're actually going after the healer right off the rip here. Big damage coming in onto Azmo. So far it's just Shyxy over there. Homerjay not able to connect. Rasels is going to be sitting through a bash. Full fear connecting there onto Homerjay and Shyxy. Looks like Betty was able to drop the Tremor Totem there and get them out of crowd control, but still, so far, not a great opener here for the jungle. The Cleave has been able to kind of dismantle their initial setup, but now Azmo is back in position on top of his team. Monkey blind trap. Adieu not able to get that one, and now what he's going to trade, actually just getting offensive onto Homerjay, getting a lot of pressure. Do they have any more follow-up? Doesn't look like Shyxy's going to be able to find the Cyclone onto Azmo. They get the DR Hex, actually nicely done there by Blackbetty. I really like these hexes that Blackbetty has been going for. Every single time he does it, it's at the perfect moment, helping them get crowd control or cross crowd control. Usually when one of the DPS eats one of those traps, he's definitely on point with that. But as I say, that Homerjay taking a lot of damage there, but also dishing it out, getting the shield wall and spirit link overlap from the Zmek Cleave, but he had to use his trinket. Blackbetty also sat down for a drink there.
Yeah, he got a little bit of his mana back. Homerjay still has his readiness available if he needs it. Gets a full trap here on the Razzle. That gets dispelled. Homerjay maybe in a little bit of trouble, but doesn't seem like he's too worried for the time being. Adieu is not able to actually land any kind of damage, and they're just going for a bit of a split strategy here. So maybe their strategy is to just get them out of mana. Shyxy forced into bear form, and Adieu can finally hit Homerjay for the first time in this game. Gets on target, but immediately he's just going to disengage, and it just seems so difficult for this warrior to actually get uptime on the Hunter in this match, which is so crucial for him to actually take him down.
Yeah, Homerjay, what is he going to do? Getting a lot of damage. He's stuck in this throwdown. He has no trinket. A lot of damage coming out there, but a beautiful peel coming out so far on to Shyxy. But Shyxy now getting the Cyclone there onto Rasels. Adieu taking a lot of damage as well, down to 50% HP, but his shield wall is only a minute away, so he's going to have that if he can stay alive for a minute. Azmo has no trinket, and the warrior has no defensives as well, so if they can secure a nice long CC chain right now onto Azmo, they potentially could take him down, but there it is, the nice kick onto Azmo. Can they chain it? There's the silencing shot overlap a little bit, but they get the full Cyclone. It's not the cleanest setup, but if they can land the Monkey Blind Trap or the Scatter Trap, it could be it. Blackbetty Trinket, Tremor. Can they find the CC chain? Adieu on 1% HP. There's the Scatter Shot. There's the Freezing Trap. Can they get it? Surely that's it. And they do manage to take the warrior down. You know, one of my team names in original Cata was ES Riptide AFK. I was very salty towards the rest of Shamans back then. But here it is, match points. Jungle unplayable versus Zmek Cleave, lower bracket match. If the Zmek Cleave loses here, they will be eliminated, so they need to grab a win if they want to stay alive in the tournament. Blackbetty, Homerjay, and Shyxy just kind of sitting back here, chilling near the starting area, kind of waiting for the enemy team to get a little bit closer to them. And on the flip side, it looks like the Kitty Cleave is doing pretty much the same thing, with the exception of Rasels. He is kind of behind enemy lines, but finally Adieu and Azmo are going to, I believe, move forward. I think they are at the tomb. It's a little bit hard to judge the nameplate distance there, but I do believe that they are positioned. Yep, they are at the tomb, so potentially an opener happening here. Or I don't know, actually. Do you think it's good to wait for the eye to spawn and try to like get an opener on the enemy feral? Kind of how rogues like to do it sometimes.
Maybe that's what they're opting to do. I just feel like Azmo probably just wants a pillar. Like he probably wants to play in this tomb position, make it a little bit more awkward for Homerjay to actually land, you know, his scatter traps, the bad mana traps, things like that. So yeah, I guess we have a little bit of a standoff. Inevitably, the eye will come up though. But it seems like they just really want to deny any kind of opener that Rasels can have here by just standing behind that flare. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. The eyes are up now, so are they going to go for it? Because when you take the eye, you also take extra damage. So this is kind of smart from the warrior. He's going to take the eye on his side, because if he takes the other eye, there's a risk that the feral druid might just open on him when he's taking extra damage. But as I say that, it looks like he wants to go in for the other eye as well. He does have the eye, so he sees that the feral druid is in the starting room, and he's not going to be able to actually get Shyxy.
I don't think he got it.
No, well, no, he had the debuff. He didn't take this eye. He said this eye on this side is still open.
Oh, okay.
He used to take this one, but he took the one on the other side. But Shyxy is standing. There's like a little gap in the room at the entrance, like a little, like basically like a gap in the wall where you can stand, and it's actually line of sight. So he stood there just to wait, or just to avoid being taken out of stealth.
How bad would it be to just go after the shaman? Like, just risk it. Go in, go after the shaman, try to get crowd control on Homerjay, and it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. Taking the more conservative approach here on the Hunter with an early throwdown into a silence. Homerjay going to be denied on a little bit what he can do. Is Azmoddan pushing in, though, really just trying to get his team enabled in this match. We'll go into a scatter. It doesn't look like there's any follow-up crowd control just yet. Stun comes in onto Homerjay. They're playing very aggressive. Shyxy in trouble as well. Adieu is really just trying to close out this game early. In this small space, I don't know if this is working out for the jungle, Cleave.
Yeah, I don't know how good the small space is, but maybe offensively it's insane for them. They're getting a lot of pressure here onto the warrior, already getting his entire spell book popped there. But Azmo still has his trinket and his spirit link. He did have to use his nature swiftness there though. But Homerjay and Blackbetty are abandoning the room strat right now. Homerjay is going to just be taking a lot of punishment there in the open field. He's going to be dropping his snakes to add in a little bit extra insult to injury as they swap over to Shyxy because Homerjay used that roar of sacrifice, that crit immunity. So they're making good use of that and just swapping over to Shyxy to tax Blackbetty's mana a little bit. Blackbetty tanking an interrupt right there. Azmo could be getting cycloned here. Shyxy just gonna hard cast it in his face, landing it there. And Azmo, what is he gonna do? They're actually going after Rasels right now as he doesn't have that survival instinct. Rasels taking a little bit of damage, but I do think that the warrior felt like a better target. But we'll see. Maybe they can take down this Feral Druid in a stun. He doesn't have bark skin. He doesn't have anything, actually. If they can get a good stun onto him, it's definitely possible. Azmo gets silence shot. Homerjay, though, in a lot of trouble. Homerjay trades out the deterrence here. He wants to get aggressive with that, though. Maybe get a trap. There it is. Scatter shot coming out. Do they have any follow-up? There is a monkey blind, but look at Rasels just stacking absolutely perfectly on his healer right there, not able to get that freezing trap, but Shyxy could potentially bash him into a freezing trap. Oh, they bash Rasels and they get a full hex onto Azmo, nice. Switching it up there, beautifully done there. Blackbetty once again in the back line, and if Rasels shifts here to dispel the hex, he's immediately dead. They get a full cyclone to follow up on that as well, but look at that frenzied regen healing. This is what I'm talking about. Feral Druids, once they're in this situation, they just, their HP just goes up. So at that point, unfortunately for them, Rasels is going to be able to recover. And this is kind of why I like the warrior more as a target, because frenzied regen is just crazy in Cata.
Yeah, it seems really, really strong. Let's see if they can land that full trap. Doesn't look like it's going to be able to land. Blackbetty is just getting stunned up right now. Homerjay still under fire. Is Adieu and Rasels are trying to connect. Full trap does land on Azmo, though. This is finally the crowd control that they need, but everyone is just basically full health. Adieu taking a little bit of pressure, but it seems like he's going to be nice and stable for the time being. And jungle unplayable, they had some good pressure there on Rasels, but they're just not finding those extended crowd control chains that they need to take down the warrior for the time being. He's down to about 50% health, but they're continuing their push on to Homerjay. Homerjay maybe has run out of a little bit of mobility. If they can reconnect, Adieu just going for it once again. A bit of a duel between the hunter and the warrior, which is what we saw in the last game. In the last game, it was the warrior that did fall, but I do feel like Homerjay could be in a little bit of trouble. Both shamans about half mana at the 5-minute mark in the game.
And Homerjay not able to find a freezing trap right there. Could be big trouble for him, as now the Kitty Cleave can play with confidence for the next 20 seconds or so. He's going to have that actually in about 10 seconds. Homerjay does manage to catch a big heal there from Blackbetty. Still just keeping him nice and topped as they force out another Spirit Link here from Azmo. They get another full Cyclone there onto Azmo, and Adieu could be in trouble here. Shyxy has another clone proc. He gets it onto Rasels this time. Roots coming out there onto Azmo. He's looking for the bash. Shyxy doesn't have it just yet. Off cooldown, finally does have it now. Going to go for the bash right there. Homerjay is silenced, so he can't place the trap there. He would have liked to, but he's going to just continue the chain with a scatter shot, and he walks all the way on top of him. There's the freezing trap, but they don't find it. It's not going to connect, and that's 2 traps in a row for Homer that are not going to find their target, which is bad news. But once again, Blackbetty trying to save the day there with the Spirit Link Totem.
Homerjay still on fire. He's got his readiness available if he needs it, but needs to be really careful. Has that trinket available, but everyone from his back Cleave is just full health for the time being. Homerjay down to about 50% health, but they do connect once again. Blackbetty is keeping him alive, but now has found himself with a lower mana than Azmo. Full trap lands, though. This could be danger for the warrior. He pops the shield wall immediately, trying to just avoid as much incoming damage as possible. Continuing this push onto Homerjay. Has to be unafraid in the match. Cannot allow Homerjay to get too much distance. So you just have to keep pushing forward as that warrior, even when you're low health. Keep pushing forward. It can be a scary thing to do, but it is the right strategy.
When you're a warrior, you have to be brave and fearless. That is what it takes right now. He's actually going after the monkey here a little bit, and
not very brave.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He's not being very brave right now, picking on somebody smaller than him like that. But beautiful cross CC coming out there as they get a Razel into a trap. They get a full hex there as well. Shyxy is going to be taking a lot of damage, though. They didn't really get much as they did go after Azmo there. Just a little bit. They get connected with a kick there onto Azmo as well, actually. Into a Cyclone. No, Shyxy is going to get interrupted on that. Nice charge coming out. And here comes the Warrior. Colossus Smash. Big damn here potential for the Warrior, but he's not going to be able to connect just yet. He gets slowed. Homerjay trying to do what he can to get a little bit of distance between him and the Warrior. Nice scatter shot connecting. Goes for the freezing trap launcher, and it is going to hit its mark, but nice Cyclone there onto Homerjay. It's going to slow down the jungle damage, and it should be enough defense here for Adieu on that Warrior as Shyxy takes a massive chunk of damage and is forced to trade out his survival instincts.
Can he hold on? Interrupt here on the Blackbetty. Adieu just going to be going after him. Getting that pressure rolling onto the Shaman as well, kind of just cleaving everybody down. Mana's not looking good for Blackbetty. Shyxy is still just going down, making it really awkward to heal both targets. I like the split strategy. Stun on Blackbetty once again is used just all over this Resto Shaman. In the meantime, Rasels just going after Shyxy. This split strategy, I love it. Can he eat the trap? Unfortunately, not able to, but it just doesn't seem like Shyxy and Homerjay really have the damage to follow it up just yet. And this is looking really good for this Warrior Feral team. They can keep pushing and stay on target, get the damage rolling. I don't know if Blackbetty's going to ever be able to recover. It looks like he's sneaking away for a drink, but Azmo is there to shut it down. You do not want to allow him to recover any mana. Really important at this point of the game.
Really nicely done there by Azmo. Blackbetty, though, looking for another drink. And just when the Warrior swaps to him there to auto-attack him, to stop the drink, he swaps to the water shield just to get at least like one little tick. Nice little min-max there from Blackbetty, but can they get any offensive pressure here? Homerjay sitting through a Cyclone, and Rasel also sitting through a Cyclone. Shyxy is going to have to try to start up the chain here with the cross CC, but Rasel actually getting a restuff there, I do believe, but not able to connect with the stun. Adieu, sorry, taking a lot of damage here. They silence shot him there as well to deny the fear, denying a lot of that utility from the Warrior. Scattershot connecting here onto Azmo. Can they find the freezing trap? Looks really rough here. They chain it with the monkey blind. Homerjay trinketing out of a Cyclone here, looking for the trap, but doesn't look like he was able to find it. Shyxy has a bash in 8 seconds, so maybe they can bash trap if they can continue to interrupt here onto Azmo. Nice silencing shot. There's the full Cyclone. He's going to be trinketed there by Azmo, and there's the Spirit Link as well for good measure to keep the Kitty Cleave offensive. And Blackbetty is not looking too good here on the mana. Nice wind shear there onto Azmo. He's looking for the Hex onto Blackbetty, and Blackbetty just trying to outrange it, trying to keep up his teammates, but I don't think the jungle has a lot of time left here. They have maybe one more go before it is going to be lights out, and Adieu has a lot of responses for that go. I think Shyxy might just fall right here. Barks can get traded. There's the Spirit Link as well, and the jungle is definitely in shambles right now, Ben.
Cleave doing a really good job, but everyone is in danger right now. Shield Wall is available for Adieu. See what he can do. Shyxy right now still on the run. No defensive cooldowns whatsoever. Just so far on the back foot. Looks like he will go down. Blackbetty's got no mana left, and Shyxy does fall. Enough with that mage propaganda. We'll get into this final game here between these two Cleaves. We've got jungle unplayable. Their jungle has been looking really solid. Blackbetty going to be looking to really position on the top side of this map, which is going to open up opportunities to drink. I feel like for Cleave, they're going to have to really change their strategy. I don't think they can just ignore the Shaman and allow him to play up top. So we'll see what they decide to do.
Yeah, let's see here. Shyxy already taking a lot of damage here in the opener. They're maybe just feeling it out a little bit. Azmo actually going to be the target of choice here as he's taking a lot of damage here. Can Shyxy connect onto Azmo? Looks like he will. Pops Berserk. Big pressure here. They're committing a lot of cooldowns in this go here, but Azmo ducks around the corner, manages to get a big heal, and this is actually not looking too good for Shyxy here. He's stuck. Oh my goodness, Shyxy needs to be very careful. Their trinkets out, gets the Cyclone. He didn't panic and trade out his survival instincts there, which is a little bit surprising, honestly, but he does manage to escape by the skin of his teeth. He's going to have that for later, so he's not going to be a great target. And now instead it's going to be Homerjay. Oh no, disaster. They overlap the Cyclone there, ended the terror, and there's no heals coming out here onto Homerjay. Still just so much damage. Full Cyclone onto Blackbetty. They overlap again. Beautifully done here by the Cleave, getting so much pressure here, forcing out the trinket from Blackbetty, the Spirit Link, and the double deterrence. Homerjay has nothing left, Van.
Oh, he's doing what he can to try to survive with that Master's Call, allowing him to cut away for the time being. But Cleave, their pressure is immense in this game, going after both the Feral Druid and the Hunter. They are not making this easy. Full throwdown on the Homerjay. He's going to immediately trinket out of that one and does land a full trap. Finally, some control coming in here from Jungle Unplayable. But is it too little too late? They have no cooldowns left. Shyxy's now into a full stun as they're going after the Feral Druid. Homerjay trying to just throw in steady shots and Chimera shots, trying to get the damage rolling onto Adieu, but looks like that shield wall should be enough for him to survive. Full cyclone landing, though. Azmoddan needs to be careful. He's going to just trade out his trinket to try to keep his warrior aggressive, and I really like that Cleave is just kind of risking it here in this final game, but it could cost them.
Yeah, but they know they're so far ahead on cooldown, so they're just going to trade and try to stay on target. And this is where Homerjay needs to be extremely scared. But they get a nice full trap there onto Azmo, despite the whole team being stacked on him. Homerjay really sniping it there in the nick of time, but he's stuck in a throwdown. A lot of damage connecting. There's the silence shot onto Azmo. Adieu. What is he going to do here? Beautiful cyclone coming out there onto Homerjay, slowing down the pressure there from Rasels as they switch over to Shyxy, who still doesn't have his trinket for a little bit. Nice fear connecting here on to Homer and Shyxy as they make a big push onto Shyxy. Is he going to stay alive? Homerjay, what is he going to do to save his teammates? He can't do anything, but the survival instinct is beautiful for Shyxy, and now Shyxy could get a full cycle onto somebody. He's going to find it onto Rasels. They need to get crowd control onto Azmo. Azmo's got nothing left, but unfortunately for him, he's got snake dots on him. I can see that Azmo is green right now. Finally, that snake dot, I think, disappeared from him as he gets monkey blinded, but they don't get the freezing trap, they don't get the hex, and they don't get the setup then.
Yeah, it's not enough, and Homerjay in a throwdown once again, but that deterrence is available if he needs it. So has bought enough time. Just going back and forth on the top side of this bridge. Kind of an interesting kiting path here. Blackbetty just running with him, trying to stay ahead of his Hunter. I really like the positioning here for Jungle Unplayable. Their kiting has been good, working together as a team. And honestly, a really disastrous start, but it seems like they're going to be able to recover. Readiness almost available at the 3.5 minute mark in the match. I will say both these shamans are kind of getting close to running on fumes in terms of mana. Pre-deterrence coming in here from Homerjay, just trying to avoid some of this uptime from the warrior, but it's just still looking a little bit scary here. Kiting around the map, just trying to do the best he can. Kiting back now, and that's going to allow Blackbetty to play up top, but they are shutting it down. I really like that they're just ignoring Homerjay. Just keep him down there, allow the warrior to just connect as much as possible, and they're not falling for the trap. What we saw in the last time these two teams did play is a great adaptation here by Cleave.
Yeah, they're going to make sure that Blackbetty does not get any of those drinks. And they are kind of winning on mana. They have all of their cooldowns rotating back up here for the Cleave as well. And we can see Shyxy now doesn't have Bark Skin, doesn't have Survival Instincts, doesn't have Trinket. He could easily go down in a throwdown, but at the same time, Adieu is taking some punishment, forced to be a little bit defensive here as they are looking for that CC chain. Full Cyclone connecting here onto Azmo. Adieu going to just respect it, trading out the shield wall. Blackbetty, Bamalam, looking for the drink, Bamalam, and he's going to get it. And that's fantastic for him. He's going to have a lot of mana here potentially. They still don't shut it down. What a nice bash there by Shyxy into the pound stun. And Blackbetty is coming back with 30-40% mana here for the Jungle Cleave. And despite, like you said, despite that completely disastrous opener that they had, things are looking fantastic for Jungle Unplayable as they get the warrior very low. They recover the mana disadvantage. They force Azmo's Trinket, and they got the warrior without shield wall then.
Yeah, this is a really good position to be in. There's the Spirit Link Totem from Azmo. There's basically nothing left here for the side of Cleave. Jungle Unplayable has fought it back despite the disastrous opener. There's a full cycle and that does land, though. Blackbetty's just going to decide to immediately trinket out of that. Wants to keep his team aggressive and might actually sneak away for a drink once again. Putting on the water shield in the mid-map right now, sitting down, getting mana, needing to shut it down. It looks like Adieu will. Charges over, gets a hamstring up, takes out the two-hander, and trying to get some damage rolling here onto the Restoration Shaman. We'll see what he can get done. Just playing the top side of the map by himself, and this is a really interesting kind of target choice. Rasels downstairs, trying to go after the Hunter. Adieu is just going after the Shaman. Let's see if this split strategy ends up working at all, because so far it doesn't seem like they're really getting much pressure.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Asmo is not getting a lot of mana here. He's actually the one going Meanwhile, Blackbetty has actually recovered so much mana. Oh, big swap with the Blackbetty. He's silenced. Can they take him down? He doesn't have Spirit Link. He does manage to get the Spirit Link off in the nick of time. I forgot for a second that Shamans can drop Spirit Links when they are silenced, and he was able to utilize that to stay alive there. Blackbetty still not out of the woods yet, though. Ninja Swift disconnects. He's taking a lot of damage. Pre-Stone forms the stun here, and that should be enough defense for him, hopefully, but maybe not. Asmo stuck in a scatter shot. They're going after Rasels. Rasels is in bear form. They do have a Cyclone proc. They managed to get it there onto Adieu, and Adieu has no trinket, so that Mortal Strike effect should fall for Blackbetty. If he can line of sight the Warrior, no!
He's
the
there.
Warrior reconnects. The Mortal Strike gets reapplied. Blackbetty gets freedom by the Hunter, but this is now a healer race. Blackbetty, how he's gonna make it out alive here? He gets caught up with another full stun. The Kitty Cleave is powering through for the win, but at the same time, they get crowd control onto Asmo. He's forced to trinket. Blackbetty staying alive right now, and they do manage to get a stun there onto the Warrior. Blackbetty, no Mortal Strike here. If he can kite this Warrior, that's all that matters. But I don't know if he's going to be able to. So much damage coming out. The Warrior's going to connect. No, he gets Cata, so he finally connects with the Execute. And the Jamek Cleave is going to eliminate the former champions.